Her testimony, Lori Vallow got to cross-examine Charles Vallow's date that he went on the night before he was murdered. This is what the cross-examination looked like. And I want to say this. I think Nancy Jo did a pretty good job standing her fucking ground. Go, Nancy Jo.
I just met for dinner. I wasn't sleeping with him or anything.
Do you go on dates with married men? Naturally?
Argumentative. I'm going to also object under 611 for harassment.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
To the
Your Honor,
judge.
do I not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified to?
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
So in your text messages, you asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe, sure.
Did he answer that text message?
I'm
gonna
sure.
object to
I'm sure he did.
relevance. Again, 611 harassment.
I'll sustain the objection for relevance.
Okay, one more.
So are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Don't flatter yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
Anyway, so I think she did a really good job at holding her ground. After her testimony, we also had another witness that testified. She was a former friend of Lori Vallow. And so this former friend said that she went to a get-together with the women and Lori Vallow. And for some reason, well, Alex Cox was there. Alex was saying that he wanted to kill Charles, but he didn't say it once, twice. He kind of kept saying it over and over again. And she's like, okay, there's like something weird going on here. These people are fucking nuts. Lori Vallow also, on top of it, said that she would take JJ's pills, crush them, and put it in Charles's smoothie. And so after, when she's done with this get together, she's like, dude, what the fuck what's going on here? Like, these people are like fucking nuts. So the next day she meets with Lori. She confronts Lori. She's like, hey, if something happens to Charles, I'm gonna go to the fucking police because you're batshit crazy. She didn't say it like that, but I really like her because, some people, they hear stuff like that. They're just like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna do anything about it. But she's like, no, I'm gonna go to fucking law enforcement. I'm gonna tell on you guys because you guys are up to some shady shit. And you know what Lori does? Lori is dismissive. Lori's like, oh, we were just joking. Oh, you took it seriously? We're just joking. What are you talking about? And then what happened months afterwards? Well, Charles is murdered. Now, today we are in day 4 of the Lori Vallow trial. Again, she is defending herself, and her brother's going to testify today. Her brother's going to testify. He's going to talk about how the relationship is between Lori, the family members, between Lori and Charles, and then Charles and everyone else in the Cox family. And Adam was actually working with Charles, who is Lori's husband, the one that's been murdered. He was working with Charles and trying to get an intervention of some sort for Lori Vallow because she was starting to go on the deep end. Like, they found out that she was having an affair with Chad, and they wanted to go to their state president because they're all part of the LDS church, and they wanted to have Lori's temple recommendations taken away. Lori knew what they were plotting. She wasn't very happy with it. And so there is this conspiracy that is alleged by the state that Lori and her brother Alex conspired together in order to have Charles killed. That way, she doesn't have to worry about the confrontation, having her temple recommendations taken away. And then she also learned, or I think she knew about it for a while. Sorry, didn't learn, but she knew that she was a beneficiary of Charles Vallow's life insurance policy. So if something happens to him, she gets $1 million payout. But I think she ended up finding, if I remember correctly, that Charles was also getting $4,000 Social Security for JJ's disability. And so if something happens to Charles, well, she would also get those payments as well. So I don't know if I remember correctly or not, but I could have sworn that she ended up finding that out later on, or maybe she already knew. I'm not really quite sure. So today we're going to jump into day 4 of the Lori Vallow trial. And they are currently on lunch break right now. Oh, actually, let's jump over to Nate Eaton's Twitter really quick because, there are some observations made in the courtroom that we on stream don't get to see. So shout out to Mr. Nate Eaton. I think we are over here. Okay, so in the courtroom, Kobe Ryan is here with the audience sitting next to Kay Woodcock. This will be the first time Kobe sees his mother in prison. Oh, person. since he testified in her Idaho trial 2 years ago. Time flies. When he walked in the courtroom that day, Lori looked over and mouthed, "My baby. I want to vomit." The judge's assistant just reminded the audience to not talk and keep things quiet. She asked everyone to turn off their cell phones. Every public seat in the courtroom is full. Trina Kay and Detective Nathan Duncan are in the courtroom. Trina Kay, again, is the state prosecutor. Lori's advisory attorneys are here. Lori has not arrived yet. Judge Boreski is on the bench. Lori just walked in wearing black business suit, so I guess she's been wearing the same thing 4 days in a row. Colby is staring at his mom. She has not looked back and likely does not know he is here. Judge asks if anyone has an issue starting at 10 a.m. on Monday and Tuesday. Oh, yay, they're going to start earlier. Okay, I don't mind that. The judge, who is normally in the courtroom, does not have any hearings. Nobody opposes, so we will be starting early on Monday and Tuesday. They are waiting for the jury. Judge calls Lori, her attorneys, the prosecution to his bench to discuss scheduling for the second trial, the one involving Brandon Boudreaux. I figured out why I kept messing up Brandon Boudreaux's name. It's because I'm thinking of Bordeaux. I'm like tempted to say Bordeaux, but it's Boudreaux. But anyways, it appears every single seat in the courtroom is full other than 4 or 5 in the row directly behind the defense. Those are reserved for family members. All right, everyone's in the courtroom, and we're going to have Adam Cox as the first witness. And unlike the friend that testified yesterday, Lori Vallow is going to do the cross-examination of Alex Cox. So I want to see how that goes. I haven't listened to that part yet. And then there's going to be another friend who's going to testify today. Her name is Serena. And if you guys remember hearing Serena's name, it seems like Serena was part of the in-group, but at some point, something went down between her and Lori Vallow, and Lori tried to like axe her out of the group or something like that. I don't know. But Serena is here. She's alive. She's well, it seems. I want to hear more about Serena. Hey, Lauren, how are you doing today? Hi, Crosby. Hi, lady. How's everyone? Hello, hello. Did I do my Discord notification? I did, right? Okay. I was like, did I forget? I hope I didn't forget. All right, let's jump over to Alex Cox testifying on the stand, and I hope everyone's doing well.
You're going to stand right here and be sworn in?
I'm going to have to boost the audio. Oh.
Please spell your name for the record. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. All right, you're going to walk around the court reporter here, have a seat to my left.
Sending lots of love. Why, thank you.
Sir, would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Adam Cox.
How old are you, Adam?
I just turned 56.
And what do you currently do for a living or for life?
I'm a pro pickleball player and instructor.
That's fucking awesome.
Where are you living now? Just what state?
I live in Arizona.
Back in July of 2019, where were you living?
Wichita, Kansas.
Okay. Prior to your pickleball career, did you have a different career?
I did.
What was that?
I was a radio morning show host.
Okay. Is that what?
Oh man, hold on a second. Playing pickleball in Arizona? It must be so fucking hot. They must have some indoor facilities over there or something. But you know, indoor facilities can be as expensive as like $50 an hour or even like $200 an hour. Like, I don't know, there's some crazy ass rates for like indoor stuff.
While you were in Wichita?
Yes.
Did that make you travel a lot?
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about your family first, okay?
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up in Southern California.
Okay. Do you
Really?
have any siblings?
Yes.
How many?
5. Or
And-
4 siblings.
Can you tell us the names of the 5 siblings you had growing up?
Stacy, Alex, Lori, and Summer.
For Alex, did people refer to him as Al sometimes?
Yes.
And for Summer, did people call her Sum?
Yes.
Were your sisters Lori and Summer close?
Yes.
I want to ask you about another family member. Back in 2019, Melanie Boudreaux. How is she related to your family?
Melanie is my oldest sister, Stacy's daughter. So she's my niece.
And was your sister Lori close with Melanie?
Yes.
Do you see your sister Lori in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point her out and tell us what she's wearing?
She's sitting there wearing black blazer.
I want to make the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Good job.
In July of 2019, was your sister married?
Yes.
Who was she married to?
Charles Vallow.
And so in July of 2019, was your sister known as Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Do you know approximately how long Lori and Charles were married?
I think over 10 years.
Okay. Do you know if your sister, since the passing of Charles, married Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Did your sister Lori, have any children from prior marriages before she and Charles got together?
Yes.
And who were those?
Colby and Tylee.
Okay. And were they from the same marriage?
No.
By July of 2019, was Colby an adult?
Yes.
Did yours?
Lauren, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, keep it up. Do my best. Do my best. Gonna be working out today too. Thank you so much, Lauren. Hi, my ninjas. How are you? Hello, hello.
You have a son, Zach.
Yes.
Did your son Zach ever live with Lori and Charles for a bit?
Yes.
Did he move in there after Colby moved out?
Yes.
In July of 2019, was Lori's other daughter, Tylee, still under the age of 18?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not Charles helped raise Colby and Tylee?
Yes.
Did you know if Charles had any children from prior marriage?
Yes.
Do you know if do you know how many children he had from a prior marriage?
I think 2.
Okay. And do you know if either of those 2 children lived with Lori or Charles?
Visited. I don't know if they ever lived there.
Okay. Did Lori and Charles have any kids together?
JJ.
JJ?
Was JJ adopted? Okay. So did they adopt him together?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2019, did Lori and Charles have just JJ and Tylee as their kids living with them?
Yes.
Did Lori and Charles always live in Arizona?
No.
Where else did you know them to live?
Texas and Hawaii.
Okay. We had talked about your brother Alex or Al. Were you close with your brother Alex?
Somewhat.
Do you know where Alex was living in July of 2019? What state?
Arizona.
And can you describe your brother Alex's relationship with your sister Lori? Were they close?
I mean, I don't know if close is the word I would use.
Oh, breakfast burrito. My friend recommended me this burrito place. That's like 10 minutes away from our house. Apparently, it's really fucking good. I can't wait to go try it. Love burritos. Hey, Go Lucky, how are you doing today? How's it going?
Growing up, but
Describe
just
for us.
normal brother-sister relationship, I guess.
As they became adults, did they continue to be close, or what do you recall of their relationship?
Yeah, for the last, I guess 4 or 5 years,
The last 4 or 5 years between them was what?
they were closer. They were close for like a year and a half, is what I remember.
Before this happened?
Yeah, they became oddly close for a while.
You hear that phrasing there? Oddly close. I wonder if Alex just wanted someone to follow around and tell him what to do or something. Maybe he just needed some purpose. Does anyone know what line of work Alex was in? Was he working? Oh God, durian puffs. Oh hell no. Taxi. I thought you were gonna take a sleep or take a sleep. I thought you were I was trying to say take a nap, but I was like, wait, it's not nap time for you. It's sleep time for you. I thought you were gonna go to sleep.
How about the relationship between Charles and Alex? Do you recall what that was like?
Just a normal brother-in-law relationship, I guess.
Did you ever know them to do things just the 2 of them?
No, I don't have any knowledge of that.
Did your family sort of do a lot of big family events where everyone might be together?
Yes. Yeah.
Birthday meals, holidays?
Yes.
Adam, did you grow up a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Yes.
And are you still a member of that?
Yes.
At some point, was your brother Alex excommunicated?
Yes.
Do you recall when that was?
I think he was excommunicated twice. So I'm not sure the dates or when that happened, but when he was an adult.
In 2019, was he still excommunicated to your knowledge?
Yes.
What does that mean to be excommunicated?
It means that you do certain things to where the church takes away your membership from the church.
Are you able to go to temple if you're excommunicated?
No.
Is that important?
Going to the church in our faith is important, yes.
Let's talk about your relationship with Charles Vallow. Did you and Charles ever text?
Yes.
Did you and Charles ever talk on the phone?
Yes.
Hey Dan.
When Lori and Charles were married, were you aware that Charles would pay for things for the family, like cell phones
Yeah, I heard that there's people in our family that they're on his business cell plan.
or car insurance?
Don't know about car insurance, but
Car insurance, that's expensive. Cell phone plan is one thing. Car insurance, that's expensive.
You knew about the cell phones.
yeah.
Did you know what Charles did for a living?
Yes.
What was it?
He sold insurance.
Okay. Did you know what kind of insurance?
No, he explained it one time, but he was doing something with school teachers or helping them with their situation.
Okay. Did you know whether or not Charles traveled a lot for work?
Yes.
Was he traveling to other states?
Yes.
And was that sort of throughout his marriage with Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware of whether or not your sister Lori worked prior to marrying Charles?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of work she did?
She was a hairstylist.
Okay. After she married Charles, did she continue to work outside the home?
At a hair salon?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, Boudreaux wine.
Was it your understanding Charles worked so she could take care of the children?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So you were unaware of her doing any sort of outside work like she had done prior to being married to him?
Yeah, I don't know any of that.
At some point, did you learn or become aware of the fact that Lori and Charles were having some marital problems?
Yes.
Just yes or no, did you ever talk to Charles about why he and Lori were having marital problems?
Yes.
You yourself personally, were you aware of Lori having any beliefs that were outside of what is accepted by the LDS religion?
Yes.
Can you tell us what you were aware of that you knew to be outside the LDS religion?
Lori told me that she was in the process of translating from a mortal human being to an immortal human being, a celestial state.
That's something that the LDS religion supports?
I haven't heard of it that it's happened here on Earth yet.
Did you ever hear her talking about being married to someone that is relevant in your religion?
He says he didn't hear it happen in here on Earth yet, so that must be some sort of like a Mormon thing, some sort of like a branch of a Mormon belief, I guess.
Yes, I have heard that.
Did she tell that to you?
I don't know. I can't recall her telling me that, but I remember other people telling me that.
Okay. Was there anything else that you recall her telling you that she believed that seemed outside the LDS religion?
Yes. There was a time where she told me that she had more priesthood authority than the priesthood.
And why, can you explain for us what that means, why that was significant to you?
In our religion, the men.
I feel like the only way that I learned about LDS is through covering these cases. I don't know anything about LDS stuff. There was a church, an LDS church that we used to go to, but we would only go there for Christmas time because they would have these like beautiful lights, like this like really cool stuff. Yeah, it was like really awesome to visit. But other than that, I don't know anything about it. We just call it the Disneyland Castle. Wait, go Lucky, you probably know what I'm talking about too. The Disneyland Castle. We would just go there for a holiday season. But other than that, I don't know shit about LDS. I just know it through listening from, these cases that we covered, these trials and stuff like that.
Hold the priesthood, and she said that she's in a state where she's above that.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand it, but very strange.
Did you confront her about these beliefs?
Confront her? No.
Did you discuss with her about these beliefs?
I just let her say what she wanted to say.
Was there ever a conversation where, when she was telling you these things, where she asked if you thought she was crazy?
Yes.
And how did you respond to that?
I said, I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true. It's not real.
After you said that, what happened to your relationship with Lori?
She stopped talking to me.
Okay. Were you ever aware of Lori believing that people could be dark or possessed by evil spirits?
I later have learned that, yes.
Yeah, we have there's these two kids that would come by because I didn't know they were from the LDS, but I was asking you guys because they had titles in their names, and I was like, oh, what did this mean? Like someone came by and like obviously they were religious, but they had titles in their names, and you guys were like, oh, they're part of the LDS church. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're like sweet boys. They're like really cool, but I think they like slowly worm their way in because I think they offer to help around with like just like help around with like yard work or something. I forgot what they offered. But I saw my neighbor across the street took them out and took them up on that offer because I saw them like helping them do like yard stuff. And I think that's how they slowly like, kind of like get you to come into their church and stuff like that. It's like, hey, can we help you with anything? Like, got any work you want us to do?
Did you ever try to tell your family about the beliefs that Lori had expressed to you?
Yes.
What was your family's reaction?
One of the reaction was she's in a
Yeah, we had one of my English teachers, I think, was he was LDS and he was completely fine. I don't know. We lived around a lot of people that were part of the LDS church, but I never really came across like this type of sphere, like this shit or the Jody Hildebrandt shit or the Ruby Frankie shit. But that's because it's not like I was like attending their churches or anything like that. But whew, this shit's wild. All right, let's go back. Family's reaction.
Lori had expressed to you.
Yes.
What was your family's reaction?
One of the reaction was she's in a delusion. Let her do whatever she's doing and she'll come out of it at some point.
How did this impact your relationship with your family when you're bringing up these concerns about Lori?
They basically cut me off.
Wow. I wonder if he still has relationships with the family members. It's like, yeah, she's in a delusion. Let her do her thing. And then you find out that husband dead, 2 children dead. Whew. The family members must have felt really bad.
So you bringing up your concerns about Lori's beliefs being at odds with the LDS religion sort of terminated your good relationship with your family.
Yes.
At the end of June of 2019, do you recall Charles sending you some emails that were purportedly written by him asking Chad Daybell to come out to Arizona and write a book for him?
Yes.
And did you, without going into, did you review that email?
Yes.
Did you know Charles, what he had done in his life prior to selling insurance?
Yeah, I know that he played minor league baseball.
And in this email was the person pretending to be Charles asking about writing a book about his career?
Yes.
Was that something you knew Charles was not interested in?
No, he's not, or wasn't.
After you saw those emails that Charles had forwarded to you, where someone was reaching out to Chad, were they inviting Chad out to Arizona?
Yes.
After reading that and getting that forward and talking with Charles, did you believe that Lori was having an affair with Chad Daybell?
Yes.
So was Lori pretending to be Charles, emailing Chad, asking Chad to write shitty books about Charles, but then later on, Lori was like, just kidding, I'm his wife. What the fuck was she doing? Is that what she did? Hi, Karungle.
Did you and Charles spend time talking about that?
Yes.
Was he kind of, I guess, in a tailspin? I'm not sure the best words to say from learning that.
Yeah, he seemed a little desperate.
Did Charles have some idea on how he thought he might be able to get Lori back into the LDS faith?
Hey, Maggie.
Yes.
What did you understand that to be?
Charles just thought that Lori was going overboard and that she was going to the temple like 5 times a week, and that's not normal in our religion, and that she was going a little off the wall. So he figured that if she got her temple recommend taken away from her, that she would come back to normal, who she was before she started in all this things that she was believing.
Now, you told us that you had heard yourself some ideas by Lori that were outside the LDS religion. Did Charles also tell you about other things that she had told him?
Yes.
Okay. And so did you talk with Charles about something that we'll term an intervention?
Yes.
What did you mean by an intervention?
Intervention means he's kind of desperate because nobody in our family would talk to him. I'm sure that, Lori had told people in our family not to talk to him. So he thought that, having an intervention would be getting in front of her, recording her, giving it to the stake president, or having the stake president hear what she was talking about and hear the crazy things that she was saying.
So the intervention was part of the way to try to get her to come back to the mainstream LDS beliefs.
Yes.
Did Charles ask you to help him with this intervention?
Yes, he did.
Did you guys have a specific plan, like on X date at X time, we're going to do this?
No.
Had you talked to Charles about potentially going to Lori's and recording her on your phone?
Yes.
Did you talk to Charles and text him about another idea of having a family dinner and again recording her so that you could play that for the stake president?
Yes.
We're using a term there, stake president. Who is that? What is that in your religion?
Well, in our religion, we have our churches organized where we have wards, and then like 4 or 5 wards are in a stake, and then there's a president of the stake, and so it's somebody who's in charge of everybody in the stake.
Okay. So someone that's pretty high up in the church.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the idea was to bring any of these recordings to show she's saying these things to his attention.
Yes.
And again, the point of that whole was to just try to take away her temple recommend.
Yes.
So on July 9th of 2019,
Heather, glad to hear it. Oh, South Park. Dude, I love South Park. Are there new episodes of South Park?
did Charles talk to you about him flying you out so that you can help him with this intervention?
Yes, he did.
And did he offer to purchase your flight
Yes.
to bring you to Arizona?
Yes.
At that time, did your parents live here in Arizona?
Yes, they did.
At that time, was Lori here in Arizona?
Yes, she was.
And you told us your brother Alex was living here as well at that time?
Yes.
Was your sister Summer also living here at that time?
Yes.
And after Charles purchased your tickets, did you reach out to anyone in your family to ask if you could stay with them?
Yes.
Who did you reach out to?
Alex, my brother.
And Did he offer to let you stay with him?
Yes, he did.
Were you supposed to fly in on the next day, July 10th?
Yes.
So your understanding was when you flew in on the 10th, you'd reach out to Alex and you'd spend the night there?
Yes.
And Jody Hildebrand. See, people know these like manipulative motherfuckers, they know people's weaknesses and they'll try to use their weaknesses against them. It's crazy. It's like, oh, religion? Okay, let me use that religion against you.
Did you end up staying with him?
No, I did not.
So when you landed in Phoenix on July 10th of 2019, do you recall what time of the day it was approximately?
Sometime around lunch.
Okay. And did you reach out to Alex?
Yes, I texted him as soon as I landed.
Did you get a text response back?
No, I did not.
Was that unusual?
Yes.
So he's expecting you, right?
Yes.
Did you try calling him?
Yes, I did.
Did he answer your phone?
No, he did not.
Again, was that unusual to you?
Yes.
Did you think anything was odd at that time?
Yeah, at first I was like, he can't be that busy. He knows I'm coming.
He ain't got nothing better to do.
Did Alex ever respond to you on the 10th?
No.
So he ghosted you.
Yes.
What did you think when you didn't hear back from Alex?
I just thought it was very strange and bizarre.
Okay. So you were supposed to be staying at Alex's when you talked to him on the 9th. Did Alex ever text you between when you guys talked and when you landed saying, I'm going to go stay at Lori's?
No.
Did Alex ever call or text you and tell you, I can't have you stay with me. I know I initially said okay, but not anymore.
No.
So he just ignored you.
Yes.
Where'd you end up staying?
My mom and dad's house.
Okay. On July 10th, did you understand Charles was also flying into Phoenix?
Yes.
Did you see Charles on the 10th?
No, I did not.
Did you see your sister Lori on the 10th?
No, I did not.
So you told us you stayed with your parents. What did you do on the 10th?
They picked me up and we went to lunch. And then we just, I think, hung out at the house.
And you said your son Zach lived here at the time?
Yes.
Who was he living with at that time?
I think he was living with my mom and dad.
Okay. So although you didn't talk with Charles on the 10th, did you have an understanding of what he was going to do the morning of the 11th?
Yes.
What was that?
He was going to go pick up JJ, his son. It was his turn to, I guess, have him for a few days or whatever.
Were Charles and JJ really close?
Yes.
So the morning of July 11th, you were not expecting to get together with Charles at 7 in the morning, right?
No.
Did you get a text message from Charles?
Yes, I did.
And did you learn where Alex was?
Yes, I did.
Where did you learn Alex was?
Alex was at Lori's house.
When you learned this, was Charles texting you sort of in real time as he is coming to the house,
Yes.
explaining to you what he's seeing and what's going on?
Yes.
And are you responding back to him?
Yes.
So you're at your mom and dad's house when you start getting these text messages from Charles.
Yes.
When you learned that Alex was at your sister's, what were you thinking?
I just thought something weird is happening because he never answered my text the whole day I was there, never returned a call. And then all of a sudden he said he's at Lori's house. And I didn't even know what to think at that point. I thought something was off.
So immediately you knew something was off.
Yeah.
From the prior day where Alex ghosted you to now he's at your sister's that morning when Charles was going over to pick up JJ.
Yes.
Were you concerned that Alex was at your sister's house?
A little concerning. Yes.
Have you seen text messages that you and your brother-in-law Charles had sort of making the flight reservations and leading up to the morning of the 11th?
Yes.
And were those all messages that you two had as you're trying to figure out how to have this intervention?
Yes.
And then ultimately, what you are seeing and saying that morning at 7:30 in the morning?
Yes.
At 2:10, if I can have apparently both. Let me
Text
know if you
messages?
recognize those as text messages and 11. Your Honor, the state will move to.
Object?
May I see the,
Where she
That
objects?
is a report and not the full extraction.
all right, well, may I see that particular objection wouldn't prohibit admission, it would go toward weight, but give me a second here.
Thank you. As you're trying to have this intervention, all right? So you learned that Charles was reaching out. Well, let me ask you this. You had learned from Charles about this fictitious email, correct?
Yes.
Did you learn that Charles had reached out to Lori about it?
One more time?
Did you learn that Charles had reached out to Lori about this email?
Yes.
Did you learn that he had reached out to Chad Daybell's wife about it?
I think I remember that.
These are text messages. Were you also receiving emails from Charles?
Yes.
Do we know if Tammy responded back to Chad? Or, sorry, not Chad, Charles?
Does this sort of array of messages start to involve where you and Charles are talking about having you come out to Arizona to help with this intervention?
Yes.
And so do
Why
we
can't
see
we
on the
see?
9th, you letting him know that you could fly out tomorrow and come home Saturday or Sunday?
Yes.
Do we see, as you continued on, he tells you that he could fly you in on Southwest, and he's telling you he's just right now landing in LA, right?
Yes.
And you knew he traveled a lot for work.
Yes.
When we get to the 9th at 9:11 a.m., did you get a message from Charles about how you were going to get everyone together without Lori knowing that you're going to have this intervention?
Yes.
And is that one of the ideas where you indicated that I'll go see Lori at her house and have a talk with her and keep your phone on record?
Yes.
So that was sort of one idea of a potential way to show the stake president that she was having these ideas outside the LDS faith.
Yes.
Does Charles kind of tell you he's not sure that that's really going to work?
Yeah.
He says, I think she'll leave, but it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Did you then suggest also have a family dinner with everyone and then say, always leave my phone on to record what I say and what everyone else says?
Yes.
And then you go on to say that's to have proof for Holmes. Who's Holmes?
President Holmes. He was our stake president, or their stake president.
You were in Wichita, but he was the stake president here.
I lived here before, and he was in my ward, so I know him.
So when you're talking about the stake president, Holmes is who it actually is?
Yes.
Okay. On the 9th, does Charles tell you that, got it, but honestly, if you, Zach, Brandon, and me go to him, that should be enough? She will feel like we ambushed her, but something has to be done. She'll be real careful what she says. Had you brought Brandon into this yet? Like, did you have a plan to have him come with you?
No, but Brandon played basketball with us on that night. So me and Zach and Brandon played basketball where President Holmes played basketball at a church. So that was that reference.
Okay. So you thought if we go to the church, Brandon will be there and he can help you
Yeah.
talk about it.
I remember Brandon is the one that there was an attempted murder on. I think, did they also use Alex for that as well, where they tried to shoot him while he was in his car? But luckily, he wasn't shot and he was fine.
Say that, yeah.
Okay. But Brandon's not part of this conversation right here, right?
No.
Is this the brother that Lori claimed was the brother who was trying to kill her? Oh, I've never heard of that before. Was she trying to say there was a brother that was trying to kill her? Yes, this is Alex Cox. Or not Alex, Adam Cox.
Does it kind of go back to Charles asking for your information so he can make your flight reservations?
Yes.
Okay. Then at 1:13 p.m., does Charles let you know that your flights are booked and that he emailed that to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then does he go on to say, I'm really uneasy about how she will respond, not only to you, but to me and Zach and Brandon, right?
Yes.
In talking with Charles and this intervention, was there a constant concern of how she would respond to trying to take away her temple recommend?
Yes.
Was some of that based upon your understanding of the things she had said to Charles in the past?
That and others. Apparently, Lori was flighty. When Charles tried to serve her divorce papers, she disappeared and nobody knew where she was. So in Charles's mind, that she could be flighty and just take off again, where nobody would know where she is. So there was some definite reference to that as well.
Okay. Then it goes on to say, I'll pick up JJ and take him to school. So you knew what he was doing that next morning, right?
Yes.
And you said she'll be there, right?
Yes.
Friday to
I know. Only one brother, only one member of the family that actually believed Charles. I think he tried to talk to Lori's other family members, but they're like, they're on Lori's side, even though they knew that she was delusional and that it was just something that she would just come out at some point. Weird.
same. So you knew his idea was he was going to be with his son in the mornings, Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
And then you said she'll be highly suspicious about recording. If you can bring a second device and put your phone on the counter or turn it off, it might help. Is that sort of the same idea that he was unsure that she would?
Do anything he could to this last ditch effort to try to shake Lori loose of whatever she was under some spell that he said. So, that's basically what happened.
And then does he go on again to talk about that he really thinks the only thing that's going to break her out of this is going to Holmes,
Yeah. Yes.
and that she's hurting too many families, and that he's upset his is gone?
Yeah, so I don't know if the attorneys assisting Lori, I don't know if they also tell her like, hey, you should object, or if they only.
And does he think that she's basically potentially gone forever?
Yes.
And then we see that he corrected slots to Lori.
Wait, press 1 in chat if you guys can hear me / see me. I got a weird prompt that just popped up. I don't know what the hell it was. Oh, buffering on Twitch side. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this is. You're a laggy. Try again. Lag.